welcome to Swarf and Chips. You have joined us for our Christmas edition, and I have got all of the guys some gifts. Oh no, and this is how it's going to begin. We're going to have some fun today. Now I've got you some gifts that I really think you're going to have to turn that off.
It must be on the time.
Stop.
Yeah, it must do. Yeah.
No. Right, okay, I've got you all some really good gifts that I think you're going to love. So.
You sure?
Yeah, no, you're going to love
hope so.
them.
Yeah, oh, excellent. Can't
First
wait.
person, you guys, I'm going to give you some as well. So it's very exciting. Oh yes, right. So Joe, I've got you two. I've got you two each. Yes. So here we go, Joe. These are yours. So you open one at a time.
I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I'm dreading this.
You'll love it, honestly. You'll really love it. Oh.
Hurry up. I want to get mine.
Yes.
You got a problem with his feet?
No. I just feel like he always moans about his feet all the time and stuff. So.
Okay, thank you.
Next one, over the right side. Over the right side.
Come on, Santa's coming.
Okay, I'm going to go with a fireman calendar here.
Yes. Yes.
No?
This is because you're into
your
fitness. So, and we always talk about you eating food.
Is that what you're aspiring to look like? Is that
what, that one?
Yeah.
Trouble is, Joe, on the men's health.
Well, thank you very much.
Protein bars. Right, Colin, it's your turn. So come on. I know you're going to love these. So, Colin, this one is yours. You've still got two. So open it quickly because we're tight for time.
Oh, because Joe took so long.
Yeah.
What on earth is...
Do you like it?
Well,
Is that 50 Shades of Grey?
No, sorry, that one's not yours.
the natural highlights.
No, right, okay. Merry Christmas, Colin.
Yeah, thank you very much,
This
Lyndsey.
is because you're a Lothario.
A Lothario?
A Lothario.
I don't wish to sound ignorant, but what's that mean?
Oh,
Oh, no!
It's because you're a Lothario and you're always charming the ladies.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Right, I'll have to stick on with that then.
All right, come on then. Right, Mark, you're up next. Oh dear. Right, I just love
Sorry, I'm not very festive, but I wasn't.
expecting it. No, that's fine.
Ill-prepared.
You got the beard. You went,
Yeah.
Well, that's
you went
right,
all
yeah.
in.
I just know you're going to really like this.
Okay. Thanks very much for all your efforts.
Because you've always got the horn.
It's just a screamer.
Got the horn noise.
Okay, can I leave that with you? Thank you very much.
I don't need the horn.
Oh, look at that. 1971 this came out on my birthday.
You remember it
very
well.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Can I
That's
take-
brilliant. Yeah, take it.
can I
Yeah,
take
yeah,
the
yeah.
puffer
Super.
back?
Have I got one? Oh, look at that. Oh, look.
Because you know what?
Favourite.
The thing is, Paul, you put so much effort in. I just feel like this is absolutely perfect.
That is
A bit heavy,
super.
so careful.
Is it? Gee whiz.
Merry Christmas, Paul.
Thank
Jones
you.
TV.
What is this? Oh, look, a cheese board. Oh, look at that. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. 'Cause,
Brilliant.
I like how
I'll
you
have
said,
that at lunch.
I like how you said cheese board before you got past, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
saw the,
The beer as
I
well.
told you it was on a
Look at
diet.
I
that.
know, I'm sorry, but he loves cheese, and he's very cheesy when he's on air, isn't he? So he loves it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Merry Christmas, everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where's my gifts?
Same
Here you
job
go.
next year.
All right, let's film a show.
All right, okay. Let's get on with the show. On today's show, we're going to be joined by James Fudge, who's the head of events for the MTA. We're going to be discussing MACH 2018. However, to kickstart, as usual, technology. Dugard, and they've got a Lunan range. What's this range? I think is it all lathes?
Well, lathes and milling machines, but Lunan is a new brand that they're supplying into the UK market. This video here is the MF630. I was visited them a couple of weeks ago and spoke with Eric Dugard about this machine, a brand new machine to the range. Some of the sort of standout features on this include the automatic tool post, the semi-CNC function. So essentially, they're looking to supply these machines into companies that maybe need a CNC machine, a CNC turning machine, but also want to use it as a manual lathe as well. So it fits perfectly into the educational arena. tool rooms, all that kind of environment. That control there, the GSK control, was actually a point that Eric wanted to highlight because it's a new control to them. It gives other people an option rather than Fanuc or Siemens, and it does have conversational elements in it too, but it's very competitively priced.
Yeah, it's not a control, I know. Is that the reason for bringing it in? Is it more cost effective than a Fanuc, a Siemens, a Fagor?
This sort of market is very focused on price. There's lots of these types of machines available in the marketplace. So I suppose when you're developing a product, you need to supply a quality product, but you need to get cost out of products in wherever you can. And the thing with this machine is it's got a 2 metre bed length, but it can come with 3 metres and a metre as well. It's got a 630 millimetre swing, very well finished. The access is great, and this is going to be a good seller for them.
That's what I was going to say, because you know, Eric's here discussing, he's worked really, really closely on this machine, and I think we've talked about this before. These machines are big sizes. The ergonomics of the machine, the accessibility is really, really important, and he went into a bit of detail about this. Why is that so important?
Loading parts, swarf evacuation.
Is that because the parts are so big?
Yeah, potentially might have to crane components that might be 2 metres in length, so you need to be able to get them in the machine easily, and not only in, but obviously out when they're made. And the swarf comes out, I don't know whether you saw this, Joe, the swarf, they've got a swarf conveyor at the back of the machine.
Good idea, isn't it?
It is, and the coolant flood wash pushes the swarf to the back of the machine and then out.
And accessibility is very important because it's a manual machine as well. So CNC, you close the doors and you forget about it. You know, this is going to have an operator quite a lot of the time.
And Dugard are selling, in the UK, they've had a reasonable year this year, in a tough year, but overseas, in the Middle East, Eric was telling me they just sold 47 machines into one company. So Dugard go beyond the UK market for sure.
Okay, right, okay, we've got to go on because there's quite a few companies we've got to discuss. So OPS Ingersoll, so they're a manufacturer of electric discharge machining and high-speed cutting. We talk about the Eagle V5, it's 42,000 RPM. Why so fast?
Well, it's a good question. It's for the mould and die arena. So you're doing metals, you're doing aluminium, you might be doing other metallic materials as well. But yeah, it's fast. It's not just the RPM, it's the speed it gets there. Acceleration's very high, rapids are very high, very fast rather. And as I say, they're probably the world leader, they claim, in the mould and die sector. It's not exclusively to that arena, but if you go around the UK to some of the larger mould and die shops, there's a fair chance they've got Eagle machines.
Right.
I was interested when I watched this video about the weight distribution.
Yes.
We talk about the weight of machine tools being important in their stability and how they perform. This machine, the guy actually talks about not only the weight, but how it's distributed. And the 7 tonnes is in the base and 1 tonne above the base. So they've concentrated their efforts in making sure the bottom of the machine, I suppose with gravity, is...
Well, you've got the stability and you've got the acceleration because obviously it's not as heavy, so it's going to be quicker to get there, isn't it?
Who's he saying that?
As I say, mould and die buy a lot of these machines in the UK from HK Technology. But it's not just that, it's aerospace as well, but really mould and die.
And I'm assuming they come spec'd up to what Lyndsey's saying, high-speed spindles, three-spindle coolant,
everything you saw there, there's no, exactly.
Yeah.
All that's pretty much a standard machine. There's not much extras to put on. There are, of course, but they come highly spec'd. We flew over to Germany. Good-looking guy, that one there.
Oh my
on the
goodness.
right.
No, Scott is very knowledgeable. They sell obviously Mitsubishi as well as OPS Ingersoll product, and they're doing very, very well.
We've done the right, said Fred Gag before. So
You have. Right, Sarhos Machines. Now, we don't know a lot about this company. We know they're based in the Czech Republic. Can you tell us a little bit more about the company? And I know they're big machines, aren't they? So who are they directed at?
This is the machine here. Mark kindly went to Northern Ireland and spoke to the guys here at Datum Technology. Sarhos is a high-speed 5-axis machining centre aimed at markets where you might be machining potentially lighter materials, carbon fibres, boards, model boards, but they do actually machine aluminium as well and steels, but they're predominantly high-speed machining capability machines. These guys bought the machine. Actually, they saw an MTD video, as the gentleman says, and bought the machine as a result of seeing a video, which was great for us. But Mark went over there, talked about the components that he's making. He's making long parts. And
Aerospace tooling, isn't it?
Aerospace tooling. The machine travels. It's quite a unique configuration. You can see you've got the kind of curtain doors, so you could put parts up to sort of 4 or 5 metres in length, and the machine will move along as almost like a column type machine.
Yes.
An important thing to mention, it's sold by Asquith Butler. You've got their sales and marketing experience as well, not marketing rather, maintenance. So you're not just buying this machine from the Czech Republic, you do get full UK support as well.
although we have been, or we may go to the Czech Republic in the new year for Sahos. They've been very impressed with some of the work that we've done for them and the machines that they've sold into the UK since Asquith have had the agency. They've only had it about 18 months now, and they've sold, probably half a dozen machines, which for a machine of this nature,
yes, specialist, isn't it?
It's a specialist machine, but they're getting into marketplaces that maybe the company wasn't known for before. And it's really impressive to see the machines in action.
But where do you see it going? Obviously, there's the mould and die, and there's aerospace. Do you think?
I think so, but it's flexibility, isn't it, at the end of the day? With the way the head works, it's full 5-axis simultaneous machining. As you can see, the size of the table there, you could almost put like a model of a car on there and machine it. 3D work. So it is a slightly different market, but it's a versatile machine, and Asquith have done really well with it.
Heimer, Cool Flash, brilliant name.
It is a great name. It's an even better product. Yet again, Heimer, the innovators of tool holders. And what we're doing is we're getting coolant to the edge of the chip. Quite often when you're running at high RPM, the centrifuge will take the coolant away from the cutting edge. It's pretty much pointless, to be honest with you. But with the Cool Flash, it's getting right to the cutting edge. It's evacuating the chips, improving the machining process, essentially.
My one question that I really, really wanted to ask, and can you, because this is the technology we're talking about here, where they've cutted the kind of the slots into the tool holder. Is this for existing tools? Because he said it would take about a week. Is it for existing tools, or do you have to buy the brand new?
It's for existing Heimer tools. It's a patented technology. So they're taking a product off the shelf. You wouldn't send your tool in back. I guess you could, but you wouldn't. You would buy a tool holder and they modify it. But yeah, it takes about a week. And you wouldn't have it on all your tools, to be honest with you. But if you're going in deep pockets where swarf's a problem, you need to, improve the machining environment. That is a great idea, great tool.
Well, we've been recently discuing MACH machining from Open Mind. Is that the sort of tool holder you may use when you're
absolutely.
looking at getting that swarf out of those pockets?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it could. There's other tool holders as well, but yeah, absolutely.
So you met Geary. I must say, you could almost eat off the shop floor. It is this clean.
I think Paul did looking at him.
We always end up discussing food on this show.
I don't eat. No. That's why I'm like I am.
Right, okay. They make very, very technical parts, and they're really, really great. It's the Herco machines, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the big message in this, the clear message is having the difference between having your own product and being a subcontract machinist. Yeah. Now, this guy has he's developed parts for Lotus cars, and basically used to subcontract them out to various machine shops, and then thought, hang on a minute, I've got no control over this.
What am I doing?
Why don't I buy 4 machine tools and basically do all the manufacturing here on site? So they're not. It would be wrong to say they're not under pressure, but they're not in a production environment. So they probably do have half an hour a day to sweep the floor and clean the floor. Yeah. Whereas when you're a subcontractor, you're chasing, time is money and you need to get parts out the door. So they're very proud of their machine shop. And of course, Herco have been the supplier of their machine tools.
Yeah, and like you say, making parts for Lotus and others, it's not a low-end car, is it, a Lotus? If you're bringing a Lotus round, it's a bit like the Formula One guys, I guess. You don't want to be taking them around and sweeping the floor. You've got what?
I haven't seen it.
Only one?
Yeah.
Yeah, only one.
You know what I did want to say is that story, his background and his changes and the fact that he lost that reliability in his parts. It's a really nice story, and it does give people maybe that backup to say that is potentially what other people can do in the industry. And it's a nice story, isn't it? It's positive.
They're critical parts. They're making parts for cars, brake calipers. They've got to be right. I'm not saying that his subcontractors weren't making them right, but he wanted control over those aspects, and that's what they've done. Yeah. And the Herco machines were installed as a result of one of his colleagues that works there, loves the WinMax control. Very easy to program. Because they're doing a lot of prototyping as well, they can program parts like this caliper very quickly, and they're a high-speed machine. So the 5-axis machine they've got...
You can't lose it. The quality aspects come in-house. There's no accumulative margins. Any margins that he may have lost is now his. He can't lose, can he? No.
And he rates Herco very highly, doesn't he,
for
their reliability?
Control, support...
that was it, he said support, didn't he?
The machine tool types, the fact they've got a 5-axis machine that isn't a fully integrated 5-axis machine, they've got a 2-axis table and a 3-axis machining centre. The flexibility of the machines, the speed of the spindles, and the surface finish and the accuracy of the parts that they make. All
good. Now, last but not least, we did have Martin here last week on the show from ETG, and I watch a lot of our videos. The AS200, why are they so popular?
Well, I think you're getting the premium build quality without the price. Nakamura we've talked about this machine a couple of times, but you know they're the pinnacle, aren't they? That's what everyone wants to buy. But there's a price attached to that. Whereas the AS200, if it's in the middle somewhere, you still get the build quality of a Nakamura, but not the price tag. So everyone should have a machine like this, really.
People are seeing the value for money there.
I think it's versatility as well. From a specification perspective, this machine is a very, very small footprint, and it also has a Y-axis, so you can machine off-centre milling, you can do drilling and tapping in an off-centre environment, which you can't on just generally milled drill machines. And it does all that in a very small working envelope. I believe that they've even got a 15 or 16 station turret on this machine as an option, so you can get more tools onto the machine as well.
I think 15 or 24, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can do double point
That's
indexing
right, yeah.
as well. And there is also a longer bed version. So if you do want to go and maybe have a 750 between centres, you can go for the bigger model, which is the AS200L.
And the other thing to mention is you go on social media at night. The guys at ETG are good at that, and they'll say, it seems like every day they're putting one in. They must be sending a lot of these machines.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
they're putting a lot in.
great.
And if you go to Wellesbourne, which again we talked about on the ETG special last week, when you go to Wellesbourne, they're bringing a lot of these machines in for stock. And the reason they're bringing them in for stock is because they're moving them.
Yes, well, the supply and demand, isn't it, really? Up next, Mark and I are going to be joined by James Fudge from the MTA, and we're going to be discussing MACH 2018. Keep those comments coming in, details on the bottom of the screen. We're joined today by James Fudge, who is the head of events for the MTA, and today we're going to be discussing MACH 2018. Thank you for joining us, James.
No worries, thank you very much for having me on.
A pleasure. Right, okay, MACH, it's growing. It's for engineers, it's for manufacturers. It's growing. It's literally growing, isn't it? You're moving halls.
Yes, we've been at halls 4 and 5 at the NEC now for 40 years. So since the NEC opened in 1976. So for us, it's about really how do we update it, how do we stop the show stagnating. And I think because people have got so used to the layout, we kind of said, well, how do we change that? And we wanted to move away from that current format. So that's literally what we've done.
Because you were on halls 5, weren't you? And then 4 was a little bit higher up. So where have you moved to?
So whereas before you only had the interlinking staircase, we're now on the other side of the NEC. So we're still on the same site. But with the halls we've got, which are 17, 18, 19, 20, 6 and 7, they're all modular halls. So it means everything's on one level. There's no, the halls are seamless, so you move between the halls. And it means if we need to grow, we can just add on extra halls. So over time, we'll be able to do that as well.
And one thing it alleviates to a certain extent is a lot of companies want to be in Hall 5, don't they?
Definitely. I mean, historically, people have always wanted to be right at the front of Hall 5 because that's where your main entrance has been. With this, we've got more entrances. So visitor flow should spread more through the show with people coming from different aspects of the NEC. So it should make it a better experience for both visitors and exhibitors.
We'll talk about the floor zones a little bit later, but I want to know what manufacturing are people going to see when they're visiting MACH?
I guess for us it's about having the core technology at the show that we've always had. So that will still be there and still be represented. And it's interesting between the show, I think the technology changes so quickly that although we're seeing similar products, the technology behind it is changing quicker and quicker. So there'll be a lot of new tech on display. We've also added an IT for manufacturing zone. So that's not just the software and design, but also some of the systems that sit behind that as well.
Does that mean some things like Industry 4 smart factories can be catered for?
Yeah, I mean, we've specifically not made an Industry 4 zone or smart factory or Internet of Things area, because for us it's really the whole show is going to be covering that. So this new zone will be the enablers and the software behind that, but we actually believe the industry is fully ready, so there wasn't a reason to have a specific zone as such.
For a visitor, what type of technology are we going to see at MACH 2018?
So we've still got our core zones retained, so because of the new layout we're actually finding a lot of people going into product-specific zones because visitors aren't necessarily going to be able to locate them as easier. People have looked at their product-specific areas. And again, we work very closely with a lot of other associations. And we've got people like the Triple MA who are metal forming and metal working have taken a bigger zone this year, which I believe is full up already. So that's really great for us because it means we've got more sheet metal working coming to the show. We also have the UK manufacturing zone. So that is not just the equipment makers, but also subcontractors, OEMs, end users. So for us, it's about the whole of the UK supply chain in one place.
So that's interesting. So you're going to have manufacturers and you're also having your end users in there. That's a great networking opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, with OEMs, I mean, as you'd have seen at previous shows, we've had some of the larger aerospace companies. The Ministry of Defence have said that they're going to come back to this show And they're really good because they're not just talking about how they attract people into the industry and the training they give them, but also how they're resettling people. So there's 17,000 people leaving the armed forces each year, and a lot of those are trained engineers. So for them, it's about putting them back into industry.
And one thing I've seen with the core zones that you have is that you get a lot of specific exhibitors, but you get a lot of footfall as well from visitors saying, I want to specifically look at that sort of area because that's where I work, or that the products, the materials, etc.
Definitely, and we've looked at how we expand those different zones. I mean, our 3D printing zone and additive manufacturing, we've had to expand that zone twice now, show on show, because that's obviously a big growing technology area for us. And I think this year as well, it's quite exciting. We've now got an IT for manufacturing zone. So that's not just the design and software that we've looked at traditionally, but we've now got the systems that sit behind that as well.
So is that like sort of embracing Industry 4, Smart Factory?
Completely, and we've actually steered away on purpose of having an Industry 4 Smart Factory zone, purely because that's what the whole show is about. You know, the whole show is ready for that, and this zone really has the software which is acting as the enabler.
Yeah.
But we've not had a specific zone because everyone is ready for it.
Okay, so I've seen the floor plans and it looks incredible, to be honest. And you've got all the big names there, the main players. And what I noticed about what you said earlier is they've all gone by different entrances because there's a few more entrances now, isn't there?
Definitely.
But can you tell us about the availability of space now? For, we're going into 2017. MACH is still a good year and a bit away. You know, we've got a lot of names on there. What's the update?
I mean, for us, it's about, we do a ballot process for our space. So we held 3 ballots, which have now all been held. And we've now got over 18,000 square metres on the floor plan. So we're well ahead of where we were this time in the last cycle. And as you say, we've still got just under 18 months to go.
So how large are the halls that you can sell stands into in comparison to Form 5?
We've actually increased the size this year by adding on the extra halls. As I said earlier, because they're modular, we can actually add on those extra halls.
Right.
So for us, it's about... what we're saying to people is if you do want to stand, you need to book that quickly because they are going fast.
So people were able to book their stand for 2018 and 2016. Will they be able to do that for 2020?
Yeah, I mean, this year we had, by the time we left site, we had over 3,000 square metres already on the floor plan allocated. So because of the success of that, we'll certainly be doing that again at the next show.
But that's the first time that you've ever had that opportunity for exhibitors, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've before, because of the ballot process, we've always done that beforehand. But this year we had non-balloted space. So by opening sales for that early, it allowed us, as I say, to get people to
It's a good move.
Good move indeed. So yeah.
And how many visitors visited 2016 MACH?
So for 2016, we had just over 25,000 over the 5 days.
And how does that relate into, the last 3 or 4 MACs?
So I mean, if you compare that to 2014, that was over 10% more. So for us, that was a big increase.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, it's the quality of visitors that we really wanted to focus on. So we've got key decision makers there and people with real purchasing power. I mean, there was, from our exit survey, we reckon there was £150 million worth of business done over those 5 days.
Incredible.
So, and this was one of the first years we've seen a lot of deals happening on stand.
Yeah.
I think the first machine was sold within sort of 2 hours of the show opening this year. It really was, it was notable this year.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's good.
Is there anything you want to, leave as a message for visitors or even exhibitors?
I think for us, this is about a unique showcase and celebration of UK manufacturing. You know, this is all under one roof where you can come, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got the full supply chain there, and you can see all these companies in one place. And it's not just the new technology, but also we're bringing in new talent. So we do student tours at the exhibition, which we'll be doing again this year.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So where can people find out about that?
So all those details are on our website, which is machexhibition.com, or they can email us, which is mac@mta.org.uk.
And you're taking students around the show.
Yeah, so what we do is we bring in, it's about 3,000 students come to MACH. So we bring them in, we give them a briefing so they can understand what they're seeing and relate it to what they're studying. And then they're paired with apprentices from our member companies. And they get taken on guided tours of the halls to make sure they see all the core technology.
It's a great introduction, though, to the
Wow.
industry, isn't it? It's like the pinnacle.
And it's all in one
into
place.
It's hands-on as well, isn't it?
I think that's, because it's live demoing
Yeah.
and you've actually got machines cutting and under power, it really makes a difference.
So one question I've got is, what is the main benefit to an exhibitor coming to the new halls, and what are the benefits to the visitor?
I think, the two obviously go hand in hand. So if you're an exhibitor, it means that you're going to have, we hope, a better visitor flow of traffic because we've got these extra entrances and the new layout, but also because people aren't going just to one area where they're expecting to see the core exhibitors. It means that they actually move through the whole show.
Yeah.
And I think as a visitor, it's going to be much better because you've got, I mean, the NEC have invested a lot of money. So you've got better food outlets, you've got more entrances, you've got, because of all these extra
Resorts
things
World
they're
and
doing,
everything that you can
that's
go
the thing.
to as well.
And actually this year we saw most people, we saw the most people we've had for a while do a 2-day visit because of the size of it and because there's seminars on. Visitors were really making sort of a 2-day visit and a 2-day stop. So that's really useful from that point of view as well.
MACH 2018, we've got a visit, haven't we? Just a quick question. If someone's got an individual question or they want to inquire about booking a stand, how do they do it, James?
So the best thing to do is if they go onto the MACH exhibition website, there's an inquiry form on there that they can fill in and they can get in touch with us.
So we'll put those details on the screen for you. Thank you so much for joining us, James.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Well done, James. Thanks.
MTD Network, Colin. I've got to ask you though, it's a little bit dark in here. I feel like I'm on a date.
We are, aren't we?
No, we're not on a date, Colin.
So that's a no.
No, that is a no.
Got to break it a bit more gently.
Oh,
Anyway.
goodness. Right, what have we been up to?
We have been up to, as you know,
Yeah.
done lots of stuff throughout the year. We've done the new website, which has taken a lot of work, but that's really been
Yeah,
received
it's really,
well.
really good.
We've had lots of engineers on Swarf and Chips. So we've had Richard from GW Martin, Jan and the Bears from CNC, the guys from Micron Subcon. So they're showing off what they're doing in terms of their components, which is really good. We've done, actually, we compared iPads.
Yes.
Size, you know.
Yes. Compared iPad sizes.
Yes, we got told off about product placement. I've never seen that happen personally.
No, me neither.
Are you listening to me?
Yes, yes, I'm all ears.
Moving on. So we've done lots, but as you know, our videos 3 to 5 minutes on average. But I don't think people appreciate, in the background there's a lot of work, editing, the cameramen, everything like that. They always look professional. You know, sometimes a little bit light-hearted, which is what we want. But the work that goes on in the background, people don't appreciate. But sometimes it doesn't always go to plan.
You never guessed that's the intro, mate.
And it's going to be bloody interesting, unlike the rest.
The Engineering Institute of Technology. The Institution of Area...
Subcon 2016 is finally upon me now, after months of that.
Now, we're on behalf... I'll start that again. Slow it down. Now, we're here on behalf of Measurement Solutions. Let's just step away.
It's gone a little.
Josh, we're here on behalf of Measurement Solutions. Now, they provide a lot of measuring and 3D scanning things. Really equipment. Yeah.
Back for a second.
It will flow.
Yeah,
it will flow.
yeah.
Just let it flow. We'll do it.
It's one of their latest machine tools that has been added. I knew I was going to...
After months of anticipation, Subcon 20...
Now, we visited them last year, if I could say visited them.
in less than 60% of the previous cycle time. I did that right.
We're here in Bedford today, and it's...
So, Jeff,
I'm here for the future.
you need to get their check here. When you ready? Advanced manufacturing and design and engineering innovation at night. Get up.
Hey guys.
Paul, what's happened?
I got locked in the toilet. The
Paul's got locked in the toilet.
it's so funny. I got panic attacks.
Do ya?
Yeah,
Even worse, we're filming everything.
I'm coming.
Day one. Paul, day one, what happens?
I've been locked in the toilet.
You got to make good use of your resources. What have you got in there?
Hold on.
Start rationing now.
It's alright. I see a screwdriver.
Paul, don't panic. Colin's there.
Mr. Mary. Superstar.
Oh, you're still recording. Paul is safe.
Ah.
What he's left behind is not wholly acceptable.
Does he survive?
No, you just as we're about to do it, you bloody survivor. Oh, that's bad in there. And Paul's in the right state as well.
We didn't on the day, like, and I mean, you're missing these days. You miss Steve Gerrard on days like this. You know, like, I don't understand what you're saying. That's because of these. So we're going to start doing that.
Right.
Clap. Oh, 2, 1, clap.
Oh.
You do it.
Rock, paper, scissors. Quietly.
4 weeks, so do make sure you're still watching. No, I'll say that again, sorry, not still watching. Make sure you're watching the, start again. Right, okay, one more time. Now, no, 1 second, incidentally. Okay. Mentioned last week, it was only, start again. Technology, no. Paul and, let me do it again, sorry. Look, if you've got any lubricant, now start again, lubricant and chips. Now, okay, right there, woohoo, okay, ready? Since the last editions he has no floor space for his metrology.
Reputation, citizen user.
Can you make sure that you get it in that camera as well?
There's an actual knack to it.
You're probably better off. You're standing on that side.
Alex,
Just
hold
hold
it.
it this way.
You thought it was quite easy. That camera can't see it.
Yeah.
It's all right. You know, you really tested it. You see, he's actually scanned in a minute, but he actually alludes himself to the fact that this can do trains, it can do any industrial.
That was funny, Paul. I don't know. Ali Max drawing pictures.
So, Tornos sliding head machine. What's this guy bush and non-guy bush?
It'd be interesting to know how many people do know the difference between a non-guy bush and a guy bush. But for those that don't, we'll explain it. Simply, a guy bush is where... Actually, I don't know the answer.
I was thinking I don't know.
I roughly know, but I don't know well enough because I couldn't make an arse out of myself.
Thank you so much for watching. From all of us here at the Swarf and Chips team, a very, very Merry Christmas to you. Don't forget, we do return on January the 12th.
I'm looking forward to taking this home and imbibing this evening. As Lyndsey said, thanks for watching. It's been a great show. Over 15,000 watches in the last 2 months, and next year's going to be even bigger and better.
And thank you very much for watching to all our viewers, and a Merry Christmas to all our customers.
And don't forget to keep your tinsel turning.
Isn't it spindle?
Oh, yeah, okay.